just want to ride. There's nothing like the freedom of the open road. Escape your daily routine with brothers and sisters who share a passion for riding. Nothing focuses the road ahead like a handful of throttle therapy. Live in the moment and lean into life. Find your freedom and ride for real with Freedom Biker Tours.
Hey!
All right, good evening and welcome to tonight's live stream. Really excited about tonight. Got a fantastic guest. We're going to go around the board and introduce ourselves. But tonight's topic is a new company called Freedom Biker Tours, which is located out in BC. And I'd like to welcome JD. And let's just do around the horn here and introduce ourselves. I'm going to leave JD for the last, but let's start with our friend Wayne. And Wayne, tell us who you are.
Well, first name's Wayne, obviously. And my channel is Jarvis Biker. And we ride a 2021 Road Glide Limited. And we do a lot of long distance rides and group rides. We have a lot of fun.
Good stuff. And Kev?
Hi, I'm Kev, Superman Kev, 2001. I have a 2012 Electric Glide Classic. And, you know, we'd love to do YouTube. We're here to do another one of these live streams.
Very good.
Welcome,
Great.
everybody.
Thanks. And I'm Dave. I'm your host tonight. And my channel is Harley's Diners Rides. We do everything about motorcycle and also a little bit about RVing because we've got a 38-foot fifth wheel toy hauler that we pull around the province. But enough about us. We've got a great guest here. And JD, introduce yourself to our group.
Well, I'm very, very proud to be on as a guest host with you guys tonight. Thank you, Wayne, Dave, and Kevin. Really appreciate it. Fellow Canadians. Right on, boys. My name's Joseph, but everybody calls me JD. I even have it on my arm there, JD. And I have Freedom Biker Tours. I've been in the travel and tourism industry for my entire career, and decided a couple of years ago to start a little tour company. Saw there was an opportunity in Canada, and you know, it's a passion, and that's really about it. I live in the Okanagan. I ride a Softail and 2017 Deluxe, and yeah, I'm a hog member.
Very good. The Deluxe, that's the same bike my wife has, and it's a beautiful bike. I don't know why Harley Davidson, stopped the production of the Deluxe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they do. You get something good and then they stop.
That's true, right? That's true. Okay. So, JD, here's your first question of the evening. Who is and how did Freedom Biker Tours come about?
Well, I've been riding motorcycles since I was a teenager. Started with dirt bikes and smaller street bikes and that. And then after moving to the Okanagan, I got into the Harleys. I graduated into the Harley culture. And like I said, I've been in the travel and tourism industry and hospitality industry my entire career. And back in 2013, I started a graduate degree, a master's degree in tourism management. And I decided to do my thesis on biker culture and motorcycle tourism. And that's where the concept became. It was a year-long labor of love and lots of research, which included going to Sturgis and some hog rallies and that kind of thing. And it just, I realized that there was an opportunity in the marketplace to do something that I was very passionate about, and combine my passions, which is be in the travel and tourism industry, run my own little niche market tour company, but also ride as well. And then over time, the brand developed and the concept developed even more, and here we are.
Right. And now you've got followers all over the world. I see by your Facebook and social media.
Well, it's interesting. The brand was under development before COVID hit, but then COVID hit. And so I had to make a decision whether we would try and run some tours in 2021 or whether we would just wait it out and see how things go. So I decided to wait it out. But in the meantime, I've been working on brand awareness and building. I started off with about 400 friends on Facebook a little over a year and a half ago. And now I'm at 3,700, 3,800. So, and the rest of them are all from the biker community all over the world. And for the first while, I was reaching out to people and asking them to be friends. Now I'm receiving anywhere from 15 to 20 friend requests a day. And they're all in the biker community around the world. And I started off with the business page a year and a half ago. Now we've got upwards of 1,500 likes and followers on Freedom Biker Tours business page. And then back in early December, I'm a member of about 170 biker-oriented Facebook groups around the world, right? Including Support Bikers with the Badgers and people like that. And some of them have a lot of followers, 40, 50,000 members. And I thought it would be kind of cool to start our own. So I started Ride Be Real with Freedom Biker Tours. And we're going to have 600 members. We just got another 10 or so today. Probably by tomorrow morning, I'll wake up with 600 plus members on it after 2.5 months or so. So pretty happy about that.
Well, and hopefully some people in the side chat also, go over and check your page out, and we'll talk about more in the context once the video has been posted to YouTube. I'll put all of your links down in the description for tonight's video, right? But that's good. And you're actually in two places at once tonight, aren't you? Because you're being hosted or premiered on the Badgers channel at this time, aren't you?
No, actually, I got an email about 2 hours ago from the Badgers saying they're bumping it 2 weeks to March the 14th.
They didn't want to go into competition.
Didn't want any competition with
I think they're afraid of you guys.
They've been on here before. We've had them on.
They could be lurking as we speak.
Yeah, but it was a 10-minute little radio blurb and video, and yeah, it's going to be at 5:00 Pacific time on Monday, March the 14th.
Well, we'll probably see Sonny and Angie come into the live stream a little bit later on after their show is finished, right? Good. Hey, Kev, Wayne, any questions for JD on his startup and that?
Oh, I've got a bunch of questions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kev.
I'm just wondering, you've got a few organized rides figured out yet? Now?
4 of them for this summit, yeah, and we're
4 different.
We're already working on an outline for 2023.
Cool. Okay, and how long are the rides?
That's a very good question. We try to make them round about a week, right? Some of them are a little more than a week. They're 9 or 10 nights, but generally speaking, round about a week, so that people can take the time off from work. These are vacation packages, is what they are, right? They're They're fully inclusive vacation packages. So, but we didn't want to go, 2 weeks or anything like that. However, having said that, our Ride the Maritimes tour this year is 10 nights, and next year we're seriously considering adding a night or two, maybe upwards of 12 nights, and making it a real bucket list type of itinerary, because there's nothing like it out there in the Maritimes.
Wow. Hey, listen, seeing that we're on this, here's a question for you. What goes into planning one of your rides? Like, take us through.
A lot.
Hopefully you'll expand on that, right?
So just, we only want the long version.
Yeah, right. My pleasure. No problem. My partner in the company, and when I say that, he's not a financial partner, but he's a director of the company. He's a Canadian fellow from Ontario, but he lives and works in the U.S. for the last 20 years, and he's a tour planner for a large motor coach company, and he brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table, as do I. We complement each other extremely well. So what we do, there's a lot of factors. We're trying not to compete with the big boy, which is Eagle Rider, right? We're trying not to compete with Eagle Rider. We're what you call in the industry a niche market operator, right? We want to have 8 to 10 rides a year, and we want them to be very special, iconic rides, in regions where there's nothing like it right now. Hence the Maritimes. There's no rentals in the Maritimes. There's nobody doing tours out there, so we're offering it. There's nothing on Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast out here and on the West Coast, so we're offering a tour like that. So we do a lot of research of any competitors that we think are in the marketplace first, to see who's doing what where, right? And then we try and slot in where they aren't, or at least if we overlap a little bit, we make sure it's minimal at best. And there's some self-centered personal stuff in there too, because there's areas where we're like, we'd really love to ride there. That would be so cool, right? Mm-hmm. And so we kind of work some of that in. And between the two of us, he and I have got probably 80 years of experience in the global travel and tourism world. So we also have picked up on a lot of what we've been listening to out there in the marketplace, right? And what people would probably like, and where they've said they would like to ride. And we just, again, do a lot of research, right? So predominantly Freedom Biker Tours, we're Canadian. We want to promote Canada. This is going to be our core market. If we can get 6, 7, 8 really good itineraries and run them every year that are popular, that's our goal. Then the US is a secondary goal, and then maybe some overseas stuff would be like a third level of goal.
Right. So walk us through. You've got, in 2022, you have a ride that is Ride the Best of BC.
Right. It's Ride the Rockies and Best of BC. Now,
so in there, obviously you've got X number of days. You're going to need hotels, restaurants. You're going to need stops and all of that. Walk us through how you pull all of that together into a ride.
Well, initially I map out the itinerary on Google Maps and start playing around with it. And, we got some pretty large expanses out here to deal with, right? So the ultimate goal of the tour is no iron butt riding. We want to, like I said, it's a vacation package. So we want to get some good riding in there, some good throttle therapy sessions, but we also want to provide it so it's a relaxing experience for everybody. And we can stop when we need to stop, and we can eat when we need to eat. We can fuel up when we need to fuel up. Pictures, whatever. Then we build some attractions in too. So again, the research component comes in, right? So it's how many kilometers or miles, because our tours are, we do them in both, right? So that our American friends know that we're riding miles. And, it's from point A to point B on any given day. And then we evaluate, okay, is that a pretty good day? what can we do there? What attractions are there? What really cool, iconic, biker-oriented places are there to stop and have something to eat or just do a photo op or whatever, right? So if there's a lot of those stops in any given day, that shortens the amount of riding potentially that we're going to do that day, right? Because time is time. And we only want to ride during the day. We want to park the bikes in the evening and relax, right? So that's really a large component of what we do initially. And then once we figure out the overnight stops and the other little mini stops, then we have to figure out the accommodations. Now, my partner and I, we're both very dialed in. We know all the hotels. We have relationships with a lot of the large chains, that kind of thing. So, that part is, I don't want to say it's relatively easy, but it takes time, but we have the relationships. So then we've got to start finding availability. And that's where you can get some curveballs thrown at you, because if the hotel that you choose the first time is sold out or doesn't want to do groups or whatever the case may be, then you've got to have a plan B, a plan C, sometimes a plan D, right? And you kind of go down like that from accommodation. And then you've got to find the restaurants. And do I want to include a meal here? Like on our tours, breakfast is included every day. Lunches, 3 or 4 lunches are included. Dinners, depends on the itinerary. Might be 75, 80% of the dinners, because it depends on where we're going to be. Like in places like downtown Victoria or downtown or in Whistler, there's a lot of opportunities for people to, go and pick their own place where they want to go have dinner. So we want to provide that freedom of people to be able to do that, right? We don't want to get too strict on saying all dinners are included, and it becomes a cost factor too for the guests, for the riders as well, right? So it's
Purple on 3 days.
Pardon me?
No, I was just giving Dave a heads up. Purple on 3's comment.
So it's there a lot goes into planning these tours, and then we have to review the costings. We've got these big spreadsheets, right? And all this stuff is factored in. And once we plunk all the initial data in, then we look at it and go, okay, forget it, that's too expensive. Or, okay, we can't do that, it's too expensive. What are we going to cut back on? Do we cut back on a night or two, or the meals, or this or that, right? So it's a long process.
Yeah. So here's a question from our side chat. Thanks, Wayne. Purple on 3, which is Jody, and they are out of they're not Virginia,
PA.
are they?
PA,
Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool.
And she is saying, is there a limit on the number of bikes in the tour?
And I'll add one other question to that same question: is like Purple on 3? She rides a Spider. Spiders, they're okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When it comes to when we get into the pricing, we'll talk about that. But we price our tours so that you can have a rental included, or you can ride your own, right? And there's other factors that you need to think about when it comes to ride your own, because somebody in Vancouver may want to do the Maritimes tour, but how are they going to get their own bike to the Maritimes? Right? They're probably not going to. So they're going to want to rent. So when it comes to the rentals, it's Harleys. But anybody that wants to ride their own, absolutely. What we care about is that you share the same passion, the same values as the rest of us, and you want to ride. That's what we really care about, not what you ride.
So you've got right now you've got planned trips in BC and in the East Coast. Is that right?
We have 4, 3 in Canada, 2 of them are out west, one's in the Maritimes, and one's in the States. Actually, starts and ends in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you put any thought into doing the circle tour around Lake Superior? Or
as a matter of fact, yes, we're starting to work on an Ontario itinerary.
Yeah. Because I know that I was reading an article a little while ago, and they were talking about some of the best motorcycle tours that you could possibly go on, and one of the ones that comes up often is the
Lake
circle
Superior
tour around Superior. I've rode half of it, and it's awesome. I mean, that's awesome.
my partner in the business, like I said, he's from Ontario, so he's got some ideas, and we've talked. There's a young lady that is kind of a brand ambassador for us, Amy, and she lives just, I don't know the exact town, but it's north of Toronto, and it's like if you were going up towards Manitoulin Island or whatever up there.
Oh yeah.
You can probably tell I've never really been up in that part. I've been to Toronto and Ottawa 1,000 times, but I've never really gone up into the other parts of the province. I've been to Thunder Bay once many years ago. And then I have another buddy that is in the travel industry, and he rides a B-Rod, and he's got some ideas. And then I'm connecting with a fellow that works for the provincial tourism board named Claude, and he promotes a lot of itineraries around there as well. So we're gathering all of that information, and I'm going to be out there at the end of May for a big tourism conference in Toronto, but I'm coming out a few days early, and I'm grabbing a bike from our rental partner, which is Durham Harley Davidson in Oshawa.
Yeah.
And I'm grabbing a bike for 3 days, and I'm going to be, I was telling Dave about this, and we're going to do some riding and check out some of those routes.
Cool. Yeah. There is a lot of good riding in this country.
Sure. Our ultimate goal would be to have the Maritimes tour, a really good tour in Ontario that starts and ends in Oshawa because of the rental partner, and then the Ride the Rockies and Best of BC tour is a one-way right now from Calgary to Kelowna, but next year it's going to be a Calgary to Calgary. It's going to be a round trip, and then I'll ride the West Coast, which is the one that starts and ends in Vancouver and does the Sunshine Coast, Vancouver Island, and whatnot. That would be our ultimate goal, would be to have those 4 itineraries developed to the point where we can run them every year.
So,
Now,
sorry.
So my suggestion is somewhere around Bancroft and up through the Algonquin Park area if you're going to go search out some roads.
I got a buddy that's he's got an eco lodge. I think it's in Algonquin Park, and he's bugging me to come and do something around there too. Yeah.
So sorry.
I was just going to say, Scott here from Bike Spokes and Bivouacs. He's down in the U.S. also, and he's keeps thinking about the Cabot Trail. So, is the Cabot Trail part of your maritime ride?
Absolutely, it is. It's a big part of it. Yeah, it's a big part of it. And we do the whole Cabot Trail. We stay 2 nights in Bedeck.
So when you do your trip, how many people do you have running the tour when you go? And how big are the groups typically? There'll
be 2 of us, maybe 3. We might have a guest host or a guest guide as well. For instance, at the Cabot Trail, there's a fellow out there called the Cabot Trail Biker.
Yeah.
Daniel Ross.
Yeah, he's been on our show.
Yeah, we know that.
And I've started up a communication with him, and through Renee Charbonneau at the Motorcycle Tourism Association, she knows him really well, and we're trying to connect because I'm considering talking to him about being a guest host for that part of our tour, but that'll be next year.
Old guy on a bike, Dave.
Right. But at least 2, if not 3 of us will be there as guides and hosts on the rides, because one will be driving the support vehicle and one will be riding.
Yeah. Now
that was going to be my question: is there backup? Is there a rescue vehicle and all that?
Absolutely, with support vehicle, with first aid kit, snacks, water, luggage, you name it.
Now, will they be pulling a trailer or?
It depends. Out west here, they'll be pulling my cargo trailer, driving my truck and pulling my cargo trailer. But in the Maritimes tour, the Ontario tour, everywhere else, we'll be renting a vehicle.
Right. Now, the message that we have here, and this is somebody you might want to reach out to at a later date, JD, and I'll forward you his information, is Old Guy on a Bike, right? And he is located in Newfoundland. And as a matter of fact, he's even thinking of creating a guided tour around Newfoundland.
Well, that's really cool. And definitely we have not forgotten about Newfoundland. As a matter of fact, it figured prominently in a lot of our discussions in the last couple of years. The thing is it's a long ferry ride to Newfoundland, first of all. And when you're developing a tour itinerary, you got to consider the time and the days, right? And how that factors into everything. And then Newfoundland itself is a fairly large island, and there's a lot to ride around and see there, right? So when you take all of that and the ferry trip into consideration, it would turn the overall Maritimes tour into like a full 2-week, 14 or 15-day itinerary at least, which we believe is too much at this point in time. But it is on the list.
Mm-hmm. and to that, right?
We've got a bunch of questions in the side. They all want to know if you stop for ice cream. So I figured I should
change your t-shirt,
because that's my thing.
Soft ice cream, my favorite. Absolutely.
Kevin is our resident ice cream expert.
I am the ice cream guy.
Right.
I love ice cream.
Unless you want to make it yourself in December, and then we've got Gordy from Mr. G 1967 who makes his own ice cream. But we won't go into how he selects his
1965.
Oh, 1965. 67 was a good year too, right?
Yeah, it was a good year. But
Centennial. 100-year anniversary of the country.
There we go.
That's right. I remember that.
Canada.
Okay. So so here's a question. What do I need to know about the ride? So, and not to just limit it, but what do I need to bring? Is there any insurance? What the rider support is? What do you do for safety? What do you do in the evenings?
Do you have communication on the bikes?
Do you have there?
We have discussed that, but no, just the tour guide on the bike and the person in the support vehicle will be communicating. Okay. Down the road, we might do something like that, but we're trying to again rekindle the old school biker culture kind of thing. Everybody's out riding their Harleys and getting that throttle therapy in the wind and that. So we're currently we're debating on whether having Bluetooth is the right thing to do or not, if you follow me in that regard, right? We kind of think that if we communicate well enough, at the beginning of the day and throughout the day with everybody when we have our various stops and whatnot, that we would be okay. Now we're looking also at an app that would link to our website and to our interactive maps on the website, so that everybody could, in case somebody does get separated for whatever reason, they'll know where we are.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll be able to catch up with us.
Which app are you using? Reaver?
You know what? I can't remember. I know what Reaver is. We're not using an app right now.
Okay.
Again, we're trying to make it only technology to a point. You know what I mean? We don't want to go too far into that.
The only reason I bring it up is that I've done a lot of group riding, and communication is always a challenge with some people if you're using hand signals, because we're pretty good at it because we've all rode together quite a bit, but some people aren't very good with hand signals, and with the Bluetooth connection, it's so much easier to say, hey, we're slowing down here, or there's something happening here on the left, or take a look over to the right and you'll see this, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. But our philosophy is kind of one step at a time. If we find as the tours are going that that's something that people prefer, then we'll certainly implement it. But with our initial goal of trying to just be pretty lightweight and casual, and we're going to brief everybody throughout the day as to, okay, these are our next couple of stops. And of course, whoever is leading the tour on the bike is going to be out front, right? So one of the simplest things is if you see the leader pull over, everybody pull over, kind of deal, right? it. So that's how we pick the stops and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
JP,
because I think with the communicators, you would run into, you're going to have some that got Senna and some that got Cardo. There's going to be an argument about which one they want to use. And
potentially,
there's always flukes and stuff doesn't work because everybody's
Sometimes they
got the
don't connect.
update,
We've had
but
that.
two guys don't have the update and they won't talk to each other, and you're messing around trying to get them to connect, and it's just a nightmare.
my girlfriend and I did a 4,800 kilometer road trip for 2 weeks last summer, and I bought some new Cardos, and we were trying them out, and we liked them. We really did, but we wear not beanie style helmets, but we don't wear full face. You know, we have full face, but we didn't use them on that trip because it was the middle of summer. So it was interesting how I had to rig it up so that we could use them, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Well, you've come to the right place if you want to talk about technology and jury rigging mics and communications and stuff like that. Wayne's our resident techie. He knows just about everything, and if he doesn't know it, he's going to research.
We'll find out.
And he's going to find out, and he'll find out more than anybody else, right?
So the question, what do I need to know about the ride? That's a pretty big open-ended question. I guess I can start by saying that they're pretty close to being fully inclusive. And what I mean by that is you just show up, hop on the bike, and ride and relax. And
so
right?
Are they like, how long before like you're filled up to your max limit?
A maximum number of bikes, we have planned that we believe 15 bikes would be the maximum.
Right.
But maybe you were wrong. Maybe it's only 10 or 12, right? Currently, the minimum number of persons we need to operate a tour is 8. Now that could be 8 single riders or 4 couples riding 2 up on 4 bikes, right? So the variables when it comes to pricing on the tours are the whether it's single riders or riding 2 up, sharing of hotel rooms. Those are really and rental bike or not rental bike. Those are the real variables that determine the different pricing, right?
So anybody not knowing what it's like to ride through the Rockies, do you kind of give them a suggestion list for clothing, jackets, equipment, ring gear, that type of thing?
Man. I just say, you're a biker, you should know. No, I'm kidding. Yes, we do. On the website, there's a page that I think I titled it. Where is it here? I titled it "Don't Forget" on the website under the YS page, and it's got probably about 15 bullet points in there that the basic necessities, proper riding gear, proper documentation, things like that.
I'm just looking for it right now.
Why us? Down the bottom, don't forget. Oh no. You got to go back to YS.
Okay.
And then over to the other list, and then down to the bottom. Where it says
don't forget.
There you go.
I forgot to listen to the instructions.
Yeah, you forgot.
and there we go, right?
So again, we're trying to, we don't expect anyone to conform. This is part of our brand values, and we're all bikers. Please don't overpack, right? Kind of thing. Like, this is a biker tour, but we will take extra luggage in the support vehicle.
So when do you have to get your name in to be able to get in on a ride? Like, is there a certain time when you start taking the reservation?
We're accepting reservations right now for all 4 of the rides for this coming summer. I've got some promotional discounts on right now. These are them here. I've been firing those out. We got some percentage discounts and some referral discounts and things like that going on. And they were good until today, but I'm I'm going to extend them until March 31st.
So I'm going to ask the question that I'm sure that a lot of people are wondering is, what is the cost of one of these trips if I have my own bike?
Okay, well, you can keep scrolling down, Dave, if that's you that's scrolling.
It is me. Here's
there's the route map. That's the ride the Rockies and Best of BC this year, and that keep going. And those are the highlights of the tour there under highlights. And then the next one, if you keep scrolling, there you go.
Oh, there's the pricing. Okay.
See, so you go one bike, one person, one room, single, all the way across. Then you got two bikes, two persons, one room. That's typically a couple riding two up, right? And then you got, oh, wait a minute. No, sorry, I lied. You got two bikes, two persons, one room. That would be two single people sharing a room, but each riding their own bike. And then you got one bike, two persons, one room. That would be a couple. So the pricing is always per person. Right? So you see those are the different variables. And then there's no rental included, ride your own, or rental included.
Now, if somebody wanted to ship their bikes from Toronto to BC, would you assist them in arranging that?
I could help make recommendations. Absolutely. For instance, with the Maritimes tour, any rental bikes, or even if somebody from, say, Ontario, if one of you guys wanted to join us on Ride the Maritimes, we're shipping the bikes from Oshawa to Halifax and back, and that's included in the price of the tour because there's no rentals anywhere in the Maritimes.
None. Really?
None. Zero. Believe me. I exhausted myself researching it.
They're all being ridden already.
There used to be a company in just for the Cabot Trail that would rent bikes, but they're not there anymore.
No.
So I've been told. And I think there was a place in PEI, a Harley dealer, but I think it's gone too.
Yeah. Privateers Harley Davidson in Halifax, who is working with us, they're accepting delivery of the bikes, and that's where we drop them off, and they'll be picked up and shipped back to Oshawa. It's 2 days in each direction, right? And they're working with us, and they used to rent bikes, but just a handful, like maybe 5 or 6 machines or whatever, which is not enough when you're planning a tour. And they got out of that market. I've had conversations with the general manager there in the last year and a half or so, and they're contemplating doing it again, but they're biding their time until this whole COVID thing is over and done with before they even try it again. So.
Right. Not economical to do bike rentals in the Maritimes. Yeah.
And Jim's got an interesting channel too. If you get a chance, JD, you should check him out.
Absolutely, I will.
Insurance. Now, do you provide any additional insurance for the riders, seeing that you're riding with a group, or do you just need to have a special rider for yourself as a company?
Our company has insurance. We're fully covered, absolutely. And as far as the insurance goes for the individual riders, it's all included in the tours.
Okay.
Yeah, with the rentals, it's all included. And if they're riding their own bike, well, they've got their own insurance. Right. So, yeah.
All right. Okay.
And on that note, all the taxes are included in the tour prices as well, whether it be taxes on the rental, taxes on the shipping in the case of the Maritimes tour, taxes on the accommodation, whatever. The only taxes that are not included are the sales taxes on the overall price.
Right. And speaking of our provincial sales tax, would you, when you advertise a ride, let's say the ride in BC, for somebody in Ontario purchasing the ride in BC, would I be subject to? I guess I would just be subject to the taxes of BC.
Yeah, BC
same as if you were to organize a ride in Ontario.
Yeah.
Everybody be subject to Ontario taxes.
No. Because Freedom Biker Tours is a BC-based business and incorporated out here, and we're under the We're a licensed tour agency under the Business Practices and Consumer Protection Act of BC. It's BC tax.
Ah, okay.
What is the BC tax right now? What is your provincial sales tax?
Way too much.
How much?
12.
Well,
12.
we got you beat. We got 13.
7 and 5. 7 provincial sales tax and 5% GST.
Yeah, we haven't harmonized tax.
Yeah. We tried that out here a few years back, and they almost had a revolt on their hands out here, so they changed it back.
Oh, those aren't allowed. You can't have those.
So here's an interesting question. Have you ever had a person contact you that just wanted to be a passenger and ride with somebody?
No, not yet. I haven't had that, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the dating wing of Freedom Biker Tours, right?
I guess. Maybe we'll put that down as a plan E or F or something in our long range planning. But I never really thought of us being a dating company.
No. And you don't because
although you know what, on that point for single riders, it's a great way. Join the group, join one of our tours, and you'll meet other people. It's a great way to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just never know who you're going to meet.
That's right.
So we do have a question. I'm just going to pull this up from Tony.
Tony, get the one about the insurance.
Who is from
Up
California.
here, Tony, it's you can rent a vehicle on your own insurance, but you can also get add-on. You can get rental insurance as well.
Yeah,
Right.
damage waivers and that kind of stuff. It's all included in our rentals.
Yeah.
Right. Tony would have to ride a Harley though. He's a Goldwing guy.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
I'll let him ride a road glide for a while. Maybe he'll change his mind.
The answer is yes. Personal insurance can be used with your own bike, but not with rental bikes.
Yeah. And we've got Humboldt in, and as you can see, our side chats do have a life of their own.
Yeah, they
Right.
do.
And just to point this person out,
A mere demon after me.
right?
On
So
my
anyway,
new-
they're
on my new
having fun.
bike.
They're having
Just
fun.
riding that Ninja too fast. It blew up.
Maybe.
I you know what? Maybe a little Loctite. I mean, it works on the Harleys, right? Okay, let's talk about renting versus bringing your own bike. So what are the I think I saw that here. Let me just pull back up. I think I saw what you can rent. So is
That's
this
the Canadian stuff. Yeah.
this is for the Canadian, and this would be for all of your Canadian tours, would it?
Correct.
Okay, so you've got the Street Glide Special, the Road Glide Special, and the Road Glide Ultra Limited, the Electra Glide Ultra Limited, and the Heritage Softail.
Yeah. The tours in the U.S. where we work with Eagle Rider as the rental partner currently, it's a little bit different.
Sorry, Wayne.
I'll work very closely with. There's a lot of other options.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd work very closely with the rider to figure out exactly what machine they want when it comes to anything in the States.
Yeah, I think there's companies that will supply other than Harley Davidson too, right, in the States.
You know, interesting that you bring that up, Kevin. The tour company that we're going to be co-branding a lot of the products with moving forward, starting next year. He's the fellow from New Zealand, but they live in Denver now. They do some BMW stuff and some other brands as well on some of their tours. Yeah. But Harleys as well. So the likelihood of us doing that in the U.S. is pretty high, given that we're going to be co-branding a lot of stuff with them, right? But in Canada, I know of one here. As a matter of fact, they live just down the street here in Summerland. But they're more of an adventure riding company. They've got a couple of shorter tours here in the West, but predominantly they do Africa, Mongolia, Central America, South America, that kind of stuff, right? But I believe he's got a company here that if I wanted to, I could probably rent some BMWs.
Mhm.
So when if I was to book a trip on one of these tours with you, what do I get? Do I get a T-shirt? Do I get some kind of a anything?
What's the swag look like?
Yeah.
There we go. There, the
You know-
most important thing, right? What's the swag?
You know, we do have some swag. And originally, I actually had it in each of the tour pages under the highlights. But then I thought to myself, no, I want to surprise some people with a little bit of stuff, right? So on the actual reservations form that you have to fill out, there's a little bit of a hint because I ask what your T-shirt size is in there, right?
Oh,
So,
I take an extra large, JD.
and that, but I really don't want to give away what we're doing. But this is another hint. Can you see that?
I can see
Oh,
it.
it's a patch.
Patch.
Yeah.
And that's another hint. And then there's other stuff. I'm contemplating lots of different things. The swag is gonna come and go. It's gonna grow. We're gonna find out what's popular. I mean, it's always a bit of a moving target, right?
Yeah.
If you need a test bed of T-shirt wearers, as a matter of fact, we double as models, right?
Yeah, we do. Oh, and
Just
we are such good models.
as we see here, this is a Jarvis biker hat, right? And
Nice.
there we go. It's a shameless plug for Jarvis biker.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Shameless plug.
Oh,
So
All
the
right.
renting versus bringing my own bike, really, the bottom line is cost. I mean, renting a bike is a significant cost built into the tours. So if you're going to ride your own, you're going to save yourself a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. I'm going to ride my own bike on the tours out in Western Canada.
Okay. So just while we're here, is there anything else you'd like to talk about, walking people through the reservation? That we talked about it, or
the reservation process is fairly straightforward. There's a very comprehensive online form that you fill out. The rider has to fill out theirs, and if they have a passenger, they have to fill out theirs because there's legalities involved in that, right? Waivers and things like that. That's the beginning of the actual legal process. They have to click a couple of boxes and say yes to they've read our waiver and things like that. And then on the actual first day of the tour, when we get together for the meet and greet and the briefing, then they actually have to physically sign the waiver there at that point in time, right? But then they just fill out their name and address and phone number and all the usual stuff. They let me know if they're renting a bike or if they're riding their own, which tour they're gonna join, things like that. And then that comes to me as an email. And then what I do at that point in time is I acknowledge right away the email back to them saying I've received it and I'm going to get back to you. So within a day or two, I phone them at that point because I like to establish that connection. Again, it's the whole technology thing. I believe in talking to people and interacting with people. So I want to establish that connection. I'll phone them and get their credit card information. Now, we also take e-transfers. So Canadians can e-transfer, which is even easier than doing the credit card. Because if it's a credit card booking, then we actually add the administrative fee, the 3% onto it for the credit card. Okay, with an e-transfer, that doesn't happen. And then once I've got their deposit, which is $500 per person, which is fully refundable up until 45 days prior. Okay, fully refundable. Once I've got the deposit, then I email them a confirmation letter that just highlights some of the terms and conditions and some of the details. It reiterates the information about the actual ride, and it says this is how much your balance owing is, and this is when it's due. And then we're good to go.
Very good.
Now, what happens if it rains every day on my trip?
Then we get wet.
Okay.
I had my hog chapter did a tour around Lake Superior, and they were out for I think eight or 9 days, and they only had 1 day of sunshine. The rest of it rained the whole time they were there.
But we're bikers. We know that
Yeah.
happens, right? I mean, we can't control that, as we all know.
You can't control the weather.
Oh,
What kind of outfit is this?
That's why it says in our terms and conditions and on the don't forget, it says, bring your own riding gear, which includes rain gear. And with the Canadian rentals, as long as they're there to pick up the rental bike, rain gear is included, right? If they want.
oh really? Oh,
Right,
wow.
but only if they're there to pick up the bike itself is that kind of stuff included. For instance, in the Ride the Maritimes tour,
Mhm.
it's not, because the bikes are they're ordering the bikes, but they're being shipped to Halifax, and that's where the rider's going to see the bike for the first time, is in Halifax, not in Oshawa, right?
Okay. So next question for you is, what's new for the 2022 riding season? And did you want to walk us through one of the tours?
Yes, I'd like to walk through one of the tour pages, just so everybody understands exactly how it's laid out. And I really want everybody to understand that each tour, the layout of the actual information is identical on every tour page, but the details are different because every tour is different.
Okay.
Right?
So what one would you like to walk through? Do you want to do a Canadian one, or do you want to do a US one, seeing that we've got a lot of our brothers and sisters from across the border with us? Do you want to try US?
I hate making decisions, Dave. Why don't you guys choose?
All right, Wayne, which one?
US.
US? Okay.
Ride the Canyonlands country. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go to the ride info. We don't need to know about the rentals, eh?
And the rentals is just lets you know that we're renting from Eagle Rider and their Las Vegas location.
Okay.
It's all
just a second. I got to get Wayne so we can see Wayne. He's like a kid. Like, if you're in the bottom slot at the bottom and you leave the banner, it's almost like you remember being young and sticking your nose on the counter saying, I'd like a hot chocolate, or
is that kind of like sticking your tongue to the frozen post?
No, we learned not to do that real quick.
It's interesting that I see what you put up on the screen there, and then I look at the actual website, and on the website, Ride the Canyonlands Country is all on one line on your screen. I just want the viewers to know that it's not normally compressed and clumped together like that.
There, how's that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we have technology wizardry here.
Oh, do we ever?
Okay, so guide me through.
The first part, if you scroll down just a little bit, it's just a little bit of a teaser, right? I'm a travel and tourism industry marketing and hospitality marketing guy, so I like to throw in something in there. So I came up with the Freedom Biker Tours will take you from Sin City to the desert, the Canyonlands, and back again. I like to put something that's kind of catchy in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then have you ever thought about riding and down in that region? We believe there's no better experience. Check out these iconic regions. And then I say how many days and nights it is, and where it starts and ends, what the lead-in price is. So when it says from Canadian, $39.69 per person, it tells you that's based on one bike, 2 persons sharing, and it's a ride your own. So that would be a couple riding together on their own bike and sharing a hotel room, is what that price in Canadian dollars would be. I need to put a US dollar one in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says scroll down for detailed pricing, and then I give the mileage.
Okay.
The total mileage as well.
I do have a question for you. Can I throw it in?
Yep.
So I want to bring my own bike, and I'm going to get my truck and trailer, and I'm going to trailer my bike down to Las Vegas.
Yep.
is there arrangements for storage of the truck and trailer while
very, very interesting. I just had a fellow from Minnesota ask me about that about 2 weeks ago. So the answer is yes. It's subject to availability at the hotel we're staying at, the Golden Nugget, right on Fremont Street. It's subject to availability there, but it's only while we're staying at the hotel that they'll allow it. So about 3 or 4 blocks away, apparently, there's a very large pay parking area, and she tells me that it's fairly economical. It's like $10 a day kind of thing, and it's very secure. So that's where you'd have to park your truck and trailer.
Okay. All right. So that is a possibility. Okay.
Yeah, totally it is.
All right.
You know, in my experience in our industry, one of my philosophies that I developed is the word no is not in my vocabulary. If I can figure it out for you, I will. So
cool. Do you want me to keep scrolling down?
Please. The next section of the page is the day-by-day itinerary. So what we've done there is we give you the first day, we give you the date, we give you a little bit of a blurb like where we're either riding through or the town we're in or whatever. And then below that is just, a paragraph or so of some highlights. Right? And often I'll put some links in there too to some of the attractions or places where we're eating and whatnot, so that if you click on it, you can get. Now, if you click on it, it opens up a new tab, so you never really leave our site, right? And then on the left, it just gives where we're staying that night and the address and what meals are included in the little black box.
What do you do in the case of a breakdown?
Oh, we leave them on the side of the road.
Okay.
No. We've got roadside assistance all ready to go, and the support vehicle would stay with them until it's sorted out, that kind of thing. We never leave anybody on the side of the road.
Okay.
But we're not going to have any breakdowns.
Okay. Okay.
Of course, we have Harleys of today, not yesterday.
They still break too.
Yeah. So
that's where the whole brotherhood thing comes in, and the old school values. You never leave a brother on the side of the road. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I see the longest drive is day 3 for 485 kilometers.
Yeah. That's the maximum that we're probably gonna do in a day. Like we've got one in the Maritimes tour as well that is around the 450 kilometer mark or whatever, right? But there's not a lot of those. There's not a lot of those because we don't want people to be tired. It's a safety factor. We don't want people to be tired, and we don't want to be rolling in the dark and where we're staying that night. It's got to be a relaxing. It's all about, this is experiential travel. It's about the experience. It's not about killing yourself, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've often thought that those tours. I was looking at the tour, the Route 66 tour, a couple of years ago, thinking that would be pretty cool to do because they stop at all the really neat places, right? I don't know where it is, and Route 66 can be a little daunting from time to time because it goes all over the place, right? It's on the highway and then it's back on its own highway.
Yeah.
You're right. And, we've had a lot of these discussions because, I've had some of my hog brothers say to me, well, why would I pay you to organize something like that for me when I can do it myself? And I'm like, well, that's good, brother. Then do it. Right. I mean, you're not our guest. You're not our client if you want to do it on your own. And, there's a little tour company that operates out of Calgary here that does like 3-day tours around Alberta and whatnot. And they're iron butt, right? Like in 3 days, they'll do 3,000 kilometers.
Wow. And
it's like, but they don't see anything. All they do is ride. And again, that's great. If there's a market for that business, go for it. More power to you. But again, for Freedom Biker Tours, and that those are not our guests, they're not our clients, and that's okay, right? It's all good.
So let me catch back up here. So here's
We're not finished going through the
can you see the map?
yeah.
Okay.
So
So have you actually or somebody within your organization actually rode this this trip
yes, or driven it.
or driven it? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And the map is interactive, so you can dive down into it. You can, look at it from a higher level, and you can click on all the different little icons and buttons, and it'll show you the different places and hotels, restaurants, parks that we're going to do, that kind of stuff. And it's shareable as well. This is the map where I'm talking about when we figure out the proper app, that they'll be able to use this with the app and never get lost, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then if you scroll down a bit further to where it says highlights, well, again, this just is kind of like a point form, bullet point little section that tells you what's included. Now, it's not everything, but it's a fairly good chunk of what's included. And some of it is again, it's teaser stuff, like visit the famous Pioneer Saloon, because that's where Clark Gable sat at the bar and got drunk way back in the 1930s when his partner, what was her name? The actress, Gable. No, he's Clark Gable. She was
Lauren Bacall.
No, she was killed in a plane crash right near there, and he was going to pick up her body, and he sat there and got drunk at the bar, and it's the famous Pioneer Saloon, and they've got the best burgers in the whole North America or something like that there as well. So we're stopping there for lunch on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're going to Lake Mead. We're riding through the Valley of Fire State Park. We're doing the spectacular North Rim of the Grand Canyon, all that kind of stuff, right? And then I talk about what's included: all park fees, all attraction fees, all excursion fees, ferry fees, and most taxes. What's not included is important: airfare, fuel, some transfers, and of course, we already talked about the sales taxes. Now,
Carol Lombard.
Right. That's who I was thinking of. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Now, fuel, we're debating right now. For 2023, there's a really good chance that with this partnership that we're doing and that we're going to have fuel included in the pricing as well. There's a really good chance.
Mm-hmm.
But we've argued both sides of it. Some people say, well, when you rent a car, fuel's not included. So why would it be if you rent a bike, right? So there's arguments to both sides. But I'm sort of leaning towards including fuel. And then, of course, there's a little COVID disclaimer there too that we had to throw in there, right? It's also in our terms and conditions. Hopefully that will be gone soon.
Yeah, let's hope.
Oh, yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah, no kidding, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I put there's the pricing, obviously, and special requests or things this is the most common pricing, but I can price out anything really quickly for somebody if they have a special request, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how to book it is the last part, right?
I was going to ask you, JD, how have you had people with special dietary needs identify?
Not yet, no.
Not yet, eh? Okay.
No. But we can do that too. Right?
Do you have repeat customers?
Well, no, because this coming summer is going to be our first summer of operation.
Yeah.
All things according to plan. But I'd love to see repeat guests. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
And that's it. The whole idea here is with the website is to really get everybody interested as they scroll down and read through the day by day and whatnot, right? And not just look at the price on the first page and go, oh, forget it, kind of idea, right? We want people to think and engage with the products.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know when I was looking at that other stuff, it seems like an awful lot of money at first. And then just like you're saying, when you start reading through it and you realize that, no, wait a minute here. This is covering all my accommodation, some of my meals. We're doing some cool stuff along the way. We're going here, we're going there. That really adds to the trip, and it makes it, that's what's awesome about doing.
Yeah, you're paying for your guide. You're paying for the security of having a
crew.
Yeah, like anything goes wrong, you're looked after.
Yeah, like you're not going to be stranded on the side of the road. You're going to have a way to put a bike on a trailer or whatever
behind you.
It's the same as if you're going to buy a motor coach tour and be on a bus with 50 other people, right? You're getting the same quality product with Freedom Biker Tours and other tour companies as well in the motorcycle arena. You're getting the same quality product on that level, right? But it's not a motor coach.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. There certainly isn't a lot of companies doing that in Canada right now, so I think that's going to be great for you guys.
There's no company like Freedom Biker Tours doing it. Nobody with our brand identity doing it.
Yeah,
at all. There's a couple of small adventure type companies. I mentioned one earlier that's here locally and that, but there's nobody doing it with the cruiser bikes, Harleys, with our brand identity. There's nobody at all. So
are you trying to target any demographic, or you don't really care?
Good question.
Yeah,
we don't care. That
you don't care.
we don't care. That's fundamental in our brand. And I really believe the timing is fortuitous right now. What I mean by that is all the negativity and stuff that's been going on in the last couple of years around the world and in North America, everywhere. The message that we're trying to convey with Freedom Biker Tours is that we're all part of one culture. We're all equal human beings. We're all part of the same brotherhood, and we share the same values. And let's meet on these tours and let's show that and experience that. That's really, we're trying to send a positive message out there. And I personally believe that it's sorely needed these days, given what's going on in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So if you're 25 or 85, if you like to ride and you want to do it, then we would love to have you as a guest on one of our tours.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. As of right now, how are your tours doing? Have you got some people signed up?
No, not yet.
Well, that's honest.
Everybody's, you know what? The company that we're going to be partnering with down the States has been around for 9 years and up until 2 years ago was doing really well. Everybody's still waiting for the next penny to drop when it comes to a restriction or border issue or whatever the case may be, right? And spending discretionary dollars is people are, wanting to hold on to those. And because if I put down a deposit, am I going to lose it because all of a sudden the border is going to be closed and the flights are going to be shut down and things like that, right? There's a whole myriad.
Yeah, and I think that's a very real thing right at this point. But hopefully, it's looking like things are going in the right direction, and so hopefully this will be the season, right? We were all very hopeful last summer.
We're hoping to operate, at least a couple of the tours. Could be with the minimum amount of people that we need on each one. But for 2023, we believe that that's going to be the year that everything is going to go crazy. So there's a lot of pent up demand out there. A lot.
Mm-hmm. So like this year, are you focusing on BC then?
When it comes to promoting, I'm focusing on North America.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm dialed in with a lot of international people, but I'm not actively promoting internationally because I've talked to some hog members over in Italy and other countries, and they're like, we're not coming to Canada because if we test positive over there and something happens, we're stuck there on our own dime. And that's a big fear is of people getting stuck over here, right? Yeah. They don't want to take that chance. So until everything is completely open and there's no more restrictions whatsoever, international travel is still going to be questionable.
Well, it's going to give you lots of time to research and plan out additional rides, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah. Totally. But
yeah.
I'm getting good. I had an interesting thing happen the other day too, which has got me a bit perplexed, and I'm going to share it out there with everybody. I had a couple of reservations come in a couple of weeks ago, one from the States and one from Canada. And they were both for the same tour, Ride the Rockies, the Best of BC. The forms came in, filled out perfectly. Everything was great. I responded via email. No response. I phoned, left messages, no response. One guy even answered the phone, rushed me off the phone, said he was busy, said he'd call me back, never did. So I wasn't able to confirm and get their deposits and send them their confirmation letters. Really odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just want to do a welcome to Neil, who's joined us, and
from Alaska.
From Alaska. So there's somebody that knows what it's really winter's all about. So
yeah.
I guess he'd probably laugh at us if we complained about how cold it was today.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome, Neil. So let's just carry on here. So let's talk about the future of Freedom Biker Tours. What's the vision for this company?
Well, the vision is for, like I mentioned earlier, 8 to 10 tours a year, give or take. And what we're looking at doing now, because one of the things that I believe in, this COVID pandemic has really decimated the travel and tourism industry on a global scale.
Yeah.
It's killed it. And there's businesses that are going to be going by the wayside for at least another couple of years. There's hotels and resorts shutting down everywhere. It's crazy. So what I firmly believe in is the time has come for small businesses like Freedom Biker Tours to form partnerships and alliances and help each other out. And so we are working on putting together this co-branding partnership with a fellow and his wife that are from New Zealand, and they lived in Canada for years. They've got family in the prairies, but they've resided for, I think, 3 or 4 years now, just outside of Denver in Colorado. And that's the website there. It's called Pohutukawa Motorcycle Tours and Supreme Motorcycle Tours, which is the same thing. I know Colin is listening right now, and he told me that people were having a problem pronouncing Pohutukawa, so they came up with Supreme Motorcycle Tours. Now, what Pohutukawa is, it's an indigenous tree in New Zealand. That's what the Pohutukawa tree is, right? So that's why they named it. So they've been around, I think, 8 or 9 years, and very successfully operated tours. They've got some in North America, but their core market is New Zealand. They've got several tours of varying duration down in New Zealand. And of course, Colin is doing the same as I am, as we're evaluating our products moving forward as we come out of COVID. So what he and I are likely going to do is co-brand the North American tours. And just as an example, the Canadian products will be Freedom Biker Tours in partnership with Pohutukawa Tours. And then the stuff in the US will be Pohutukawa Motorcycle Tours in partnership with Freedom Biker Tours.
So are you hoping to have Canadians booking in New Zealand as well?
Right. Now, that's, like I said, that's his core market down there, but I've always wanted to do a New Zealand tour as well. That's kind of part of the long-term plans that I had. So again, this whole meeting of the minds between Colin and I is fortuitous. He knows New Zealand like the back of his hand. He's got all the relationships down there. So yes, long story short, we're hoping to promote some New Zealand itineraries when it's our winter here.
Right.
There's
summer
there. and bring North Americans down to New Zealand for the tours. That's what he's been doing up until a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So
Look at this tour I just pulled up. Now, this is a biker's dream. A 35-day tour. 35 days.
now I don't know. I don't know what ultimately we're going to end up doing, and what he's going to end up doing. I just know that he is revisiting everything to do with all of his tours, right? And then he and I are going to plan the 2023 products together.
Wow. And if you check out the prices.
So what's the New Zealand dollar? What's it compare? Is it comparable?
It's
Australian is pretty close to ours. A little bit less.
I think it's close to ours too.
It's fairly close. Yeah.
Prices listed in New Zealand dollars. Okay, that's usually tour groups want it in US dollars. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Is there anything on this website you want me to highlight?
No, I just wanted to showcase it a little bit. I mean, they've got some a couple of Western Canadian tours up there, and they overlap with my Ride the Rockies the Best of BC a little bit. But again, Colin and I we really get along, and we're kind of having a meeting of the minds where, we want to complement each other and support each other. We don't want to compete with each other. Right. So there's going to be some changes, and like I said, what we offer in Canada, both companies are going to be offering it, and what we offer south of the border, both companies are going to be offering and promoting it, right, and operating them as well, right? Like if I can't make one of the U.S. itineraries, Colin and his crew are gonna guide it. But there'll be some guests that book through Freedom Biker Tours, and the same in Canada. If Colin can't make, some of the itineraries up here to guide with me, then my crew will do it. So,
well, very good.
Now, is there any kind of video or any thing like that to remember the trip by, or done by you guys?
We will be taking lots of images and videos of the tours. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's part of our terms and conditions where if you sign up on the tour, you're giving permission for us to use the content that you may be in. Right.
Cool.
Makes sense.
And we've got some stuff up on our YouTube channel now too. Some promotional tours. You've probably seen them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're on the website too.
Very good. So, how do people get in contact with you?
Well,
what do you got going for social media?
They can pick up the phone and call me. It's all good. I love talking on the phone. We have my personal profile, of course. You can message me through there, and I am accepting friend requests. I think I got about 1,300 spots left before I hit the 5,000 person max with Facebook. We've got the business page. Again, you can contact me that way. We've got our group, Ride Be Real with Freedom Biker Tours on Facebook. We have our YouTube channel. You just search for Freedom Biker Tours. And we have our Instagram platform as well, just Freedom Biker Tours. And then there's the website. On the website, under the contact, on the main navigation, you can either my phone number's there, and my direct email is there, and which comes to me directly, or you can fill out the form. I would prefer you just email me directly if you have any questions, but you can also fill out the form, and some people are doing that as well, the contact us form. Yeah. So lots of ways to contact me, and I respond right away, like within 24 hours. Very
good. So here I just had this. So Bob Nelson, who is also out of the U.S. And is going to be going to Daytona Bike Week, meeting up with some people there. So a little jealous about that, Bob.
Yeah.
So suggestion here, offering tours in the South in the wintertime.
Well, that's what we're talking about in New Zealand, right? and that. Now, whether when you say the South, are you talking about like the southern U.S., like New Mexico, Arizona?
I think that's. What do you guys think? No, and Bob, I think he's probably asking about the U.S.
Mhm.
the U.S. market.
I guess that's a possibility. I mean, I got buddies that are down in Arizona right now and riding around, and it looks pretty good. Last year they were down there though, and it was snowing in Arizona in February. So I won't say no, but it's not high on the priority list. For when it's our winter here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're looking at stuff like New Zealand, South Africa, down the road, that kind of international travel. Real bucket list, once in a lifetime type of stuff.
Now, would you consider something like the Mexican Baja?
I've done that. I've ridden the Baja lots. I've got a lot of friends that are down in the Baja Riders MC. I've been down there a couple of times where I've actually trailered my Harley down there and stayed down there for a couple of months in our wintertime. It's great riding down there. But the answer to that right now is probably no, because I don't want to compete with Eagle Rider. They do that tour. They do it, eh?
I saw Wayne's eyebrows rise when I said, the Baja in Mexico. Wayne's also got a toy hauler, and he wants to load his bike. He wants to go someplace with his bike. So
it's 3 weeks away?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna either go the week or leave on the night of the 17th after work, or the 24th. We kind of got invited to a wedding the week of the 18th, so we may have to stick around for that. So
cool. Can we highlight our brand values for a minute, Dave?
Yep.
Please.
Give me 2 seconds here, and
it's on the Why Us page under values mission.
Yeah, I just have to call your page back up. Just give me 2 seconds here.
So you were showing, you had your JD. I've got my Superman.
Okay, I got a long sleeve sweatshirt on, man, but I got a full Taz Angel all down on this arm here. Nice. It's the same as I have a quick release fairing sound system on my Softail. It mounts on the windshield.
Yeah.
Mounts, and it's got the full Taz, man, with the angel wings spread out. Had it made for it, yeah.
Okay. Let me just let Wayne back into the picture there. And okay, so where do you want me to go?
Why Us values mission, and then scroll down to the brand values. That picture right there is actually, I believe it's from Daytona.
This picture here?
No, that's our promotional video.
No, the first one up here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when did they get mountains?
Get hills like that in Florida?
Yeah,
maybe it's not that. Oh, you mean that? Yeah. No, that's actually West Side Road up around Kelowna, along the lake. The lake is on our left shoulder.
Oh, how long's the video?
That's the one you played at the introduction.
Oh, okay. Who does the voiceovers? That deep rumbling voice. That's definitely a radio. Me, a radio voice.
When I was younger, before I got married, I was a MC and DJ. I used to do it part-time for organizations and weddings and whatever the case may be. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Is this what you're looking for here?
That's what I was looking for. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to talk about that before we wrap anything up in a bit. But those core values this is part of what I'm talking about when it comes to the old school biker culture. And through the research I did for a year for my master's thesis, these really sort of stuck out big time as really important to a large percentage of bikers. Now, freedom, it's interesting. I've had a fair amount of people in the last couple of weeks try and spin that particular word because of the freedom movement that's going on right now and things like that. And that's not what it means to a biker. We all know what freedom means, right? It's that emotional high that we get when we ride. You know, what's ahead of us in the next curve in the road, the smells, the sounds, the throttle therapy, and us, everybody's grinning when they ride, right? And there's no feeling like it. That's the freedom that we talk about as bikers. And it's not the freedom of oppression or anything like that, right? That's not what we're talking about. And one of the quotes that I found when I was doing my research was, "It's the reason a dog sticks his head out the car window." Yeah. That's exactly it, right? Am I wrong?
It's funny, you know, I just said to my wife, I was in London the other day, and there was a car coming, and it was snowing like crazy, and the guy had the window down, and there's this big brown dog with his head out the window.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we ride, man. That's the freedom. And then the next one is authenticity, and it's tied in with acceptance, which is the third one. Authenticity is really important as a human being, right? We need to be ourselves, because that's when we thrive. That's when we enjoy ourselves. That's when we are our best selves, is when we're being our authentic selves, right? And let's face it, the biker community and culture, it's about self-expression. Hello, look at all this stuff, right? That's what it's about. It's about self-expression and being accepted for who we are. Tattoos, patches, pins, artwork on our bikes, artwork
Ice
on
cream.
our body. Exactly. So we don't want anyone to conform, right? It's about living in the moment and carrying on and enjoying life and having fun and being true to ourselves. That's what the authenticity piece is. And then the acceptance piece, well, like I said, it's tied into it. We don't want anybody to conform. If you want to ride with us and be yourself, ride, be real. That's the tagline. Ride, be real, right?
Right.
Be authentic.
So
Go
ahead, JD. I'll catch it when you're finished. Go ahead.
And then, of course, the last one, brotherhood. Well, it's fundamental in the biker culture and community, right? It doesn't matter what you think, as long as you ride and have a passion for it. All of us bikers, we get it, right? And there's the old saying, which was everywhere in my research for my thesis: if I need to explain it, you wouldn't understand, right?
I'm going to ask a question, and it's only because I'm going to be devil's advocate here, because I have rode in a lot of groups. Every once in a while, you get somebody who wants to come along, and they just don't have the skills. What do you do?
Well, I won't let him ride with us.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. It's my job to screen. Like, our terms and conditions say you have to have a minimum of 1 year's riding experience on a cruiser style motorcycle.
Okay. I wondered that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's my job to I don't like to use the word screen, but that is the best word to use to make sure that they know what they're doing. Yeah.
I wondered that, because I was thinking of a time a few years ago where a group of us were going down to Port Dover, and it was just you know, not very far. We're talking about a 2.5 hour ride, but the one fellow who wanted to come along had only been like literally riding for a couple of weeks, and we told him, yeah, he wasn't welcome to come with us. We didn't want him to come because
it's a safety factor too, right?
It's what?
It's a safety factor.
Yeah, and that's what we said to him, is that, you know what, we think maybe next year you can come along. This year, no. You know,
not only for that rider as an individual, but for the group as a whole. It's a safety factor.
Yeah. Now, JD, you wouldn't know this person, but you know, on Superman Kev's channel, he did an interview with a guy named Chubby Biker. He's you know, a proponent of being a real biker. So you know, maybe afterwards you can check out Chubby 1B, and you know, let us know later on whether or not he would qualify as a person.
If he'd be allowed on the ride.
Whether or not you would allow it on the ride. And for a lot of people in the side chat who have followed Kevin and his channel, they know who Chubby is, and
Yeah. Chubby with one B.
you
Oh,
know,
he's a regular, is he?
Oh yeah. He's a
well,
regular.
he just springs up from time to time. He'll just pop up in the conversation. So, you know, for those who know what we're talking about, they can have a chuckle, and maybe it's all good. It's all good. You know, you should maybe check him out.
Okay.
You know, now you've got photos and videos. Is there a video here on your
Yeah, our promotional videos are in there. There's some of me. We did about an 8.5-minute interview last summer with me talking about the concept, the brand values, things like that. And then we divided them up into 4 short, like 30-second segments, hitting on certain things, like hitting on authenticity, hitting on throttle therapy, which I joke a little bit about. And then we took the main video as well and divided it up, that promotional one that you did at the beginning of this show.
Yeah.
And then we've got some smaller ones in there designed for social media purposes, focusing on the tours this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no dates on them so that we can use them, you know, for next year as well.
I don't know if I can do the.
You can.
And actually, I'm going to give a plug to Renee at the Canadian Motorcycle Tourism Association, because she did these for me, and they're freaking awesome.
Yeah.
She did an amazing job with these. The traction I've been getting on social media with those little segments that she did is phenomenal.
I like the helmet on the dog here.
Oh, that's Scully. That's Richard. He's one of our senior Okanagan Hog members here. I know Richard, and that's his dog Scully. Scully has her own Facebook page.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dave, I shared a screen.
Oh, did you? Okay, let me catch up with you. And
Yeah, Scully goes everywhere with, and she's in some of our promotional videos.
Oh, here we go. Now you get to see Chubby.
Oh, right on.
Do you want to play it, Wayne?
Yeah, good old Chubby.
This is our resident expert on.
I can't hear.
Most important steps to being a real battle. Let's get right to it.
Anyway,
that's Chubby Bike.
That's being a real bugger.
yeah. I encourage anybody in the side chat or yourself to check out Chubby. It was Chubby with one B.
Chubby with one B, yeah, because he's trying to be kind of cool. He spells it with one B.
Yeah, we actually had, believe it or not, we had probably an hour and a half of Chubby on a live stream, and
Wow,
for the life of me, I had tears coming down my cheeks. I was laughing so hard. But anyway, let's get back to Freedom Biker Tours here, right? We've got Ty from Tennessee has just joined us, along with. I guess let's do a quick little shout out here of people that have joined us tonight. Purple on 3, Ron Hanna, Larry 68 HD, right? Spider Wayne joined us for a bit.
Bob Nelson,
Harley Girl,
Windroad Therapy.
Yeah, Fun Chuck, old guy on a bike, welcome. Right. Mr. G 1965, right?
Yeah, we got quite a few people in the side here today.
Teresa Sears, the first time for her, I think.
Canuck Chuck,
yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Two Wheel for Fun.
Two Wheels for Fun, Tony Reno from California. Right.
Yeah. Mr. G
1965. Craig from Shush Moto Travels. He's out in BC also.
Yeah.
He's got a good channel. He's up almost 800, 900 subscribers now in his first year, which is really good for him. Bike Spokes and Bivouac. Scott, he's from down south, and he's got a mostly RV camping channel.
Riding Humboldt County.
running Humble. Now, I think he's doing a live stream for out west in Alberta, him and a group others, but I haven't seen anything lately. Maybe he can put a plug in the bottom of if
In the
he's
chat.
Well, it sounds like you've got a really good a good business, set up and everything, and it looks really exciting. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
look forward to seeing how this all works out.
It's a labor of love. It's a real passion of mine, and the same with my co-founder. And the timing wasn't the best, of course, when getting hit by COVID. But we're persevering through it, and hence the reason for the partnership with Pohutukawa that we're starting to put together, and should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There you go.
There we go.
You became big.
Yeah, that's a bit frightening.
There we go. Okay, I was just trying out different buttons here.
Whoa, you're right. My camera is very high def.
Is it? There we go. So let's just kind of tie it up here. And anything else you'd like to add or give a shout out to, JD?
Well, definitely to you guys. Like, I'm just eternally grateful for being invited onto your show, and I hope that I'll get invited again.
I'd like to do that. I was just thinking it would be interesting to talk to you again.
We'll need it after the ride.
Maybe after in the fall, after you've had a summer, and we could talk about
Sure.
how it's gone.
And just food for thought. I'd love to get. I bounced this around with Colin from Pohutukawa. I'd love to get him on as well at the same time if you guys were open to that.
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that he and I could talk about what our plans are. That would really be cool as well. If we did that maybe in a few months, like into the late spring or something. If you guys if you have an opening for us, that would be really cool.
Well, we'll have to check our social calendar. So, we got to first plan our next breakfast.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, gentlemen, I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. And I already did a shout out, to Colin at Pohutukawa and to my co-founder down in the States. He's been amazing with all of his input, and he brings a lot of value to the table. And then Renee at the Canadian Motorcycle Tourism Association. She's been just great with a lot of ideas. She's ridden so much of the routes that we're looking at doing or we are doing for itinerary. So she's provided a lot of input, and like I said, she did those little videos for me, and so she's amazing. She's very creative and a wealth of information. So thanks, Renee, for that. And that's really about it. I just hope that we can operate some of the tours this summer and that things loosen up enough. And if not, it's 2023.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
let's hope it works this summer.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to be keenly watching your channel and that, and see how things go. Please keep in touch with us. Love to connect with you when you come out in May, if that's a possibility. And certainly we'd like to see how you be successful and hear about your future rides in that.
Well, it's all about promoting Canada. This is a vast country with unbelievable, beautiful riding. So, when I first started this whole concept, I was kind of shocked that nobody had done it before.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? To answer that, I think we're resourceful and we've been doing it ourselves. Like Wayne, for a good example, is Wayne. He's got a group of a 10 or dozen so riders, and they plan their trips and they go off riding, and like your hog chapter, my hog chapter.
Yeah.
Kevin belongs
to our rides at Ozarks is in June. June 12th, we have to leave here to get down there for the 13th.
Do you ride all the way or do you trailer down?
Yeah, we're going to ride. there's also one that's semi-booked for Colorado. That's a couples ride, and the guys are riding and the ladies are flying and
Nice.
meeting us there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also Ty, just to let you know, I'm coming to Tennessee in March, so be ready.
Well, like I said, probably a couple times throughout this whole session is there's definitely people that like to do that. Like, I mean, I like to take off by myself with my partner and just ride and
Yeah.
don't plan anything or
Yeah.
maybe plan little bits and pieces of it, right? That's great, but there's also a good segment of the market that just wants to have someone else do it for them, and they just grab the bike and they know that they're going to be safe and everything's looked after for them, and they can de-stress, decompress, and get some throttle therapy and meet like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
The one question I did want to ask before I thought of it before and I didn't ask you, the type of accommodation is pretty nice hotels I see.
Yeah, 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
Moderate, mid-range hotels. I mean, unless we have to go the 4-star range, but we're trying to stay away from that unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
If we're staying at a higher end property, it's because we have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot that factors into that, right?
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So, Kev, any shout outs or things you want to add?
I want to put a big shout out to everybody in the side, and like always, thank you guys for supporting us and being here. And if I hope people in the side chat, if you've enjoyed tonight, or if you know somebody that's looking to do a trip like this, to contact JD. And that's pretty much what I've got for now. Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah, just for people that are down south, I'm going to be going through. It's either going to be from the 17th the rest of that week and into the next week, or it'll be the 24th starting out, coming down your way. So toy hauler down to where it's warm, and then we're going to ride. So
we're going to be at Sturgis this summer.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
8 nights, 9 nights, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Love to do Sturgis again. And I'll just put out here, Ty, if you're still in the side chat, Ty, if the doorbell rings and there's a guy dressed in black with a black full face helmet on, it's Wayne.
It's me.
Right? You can let him in. Don't think
we've all had the call.
I'll bring a hat.
Nice.
All right. So, JD, hey, listen, thanks very much for taking the time to join us here on the Monday night. Really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun with you chatting about Freedom Biker Tours, and it's great possibilities coming up. And we look forward to keeping in touch with you, and certainly we'll have you back on, to hear how success is going for you.
Make sure he stays in the green room after.
Yeah. Don't take off. Just hopefully we didn't scare you, so don't take off, and we'll have a chat off air.
I'm quaking in my boots, boys.
There we go. But so just FYI, whose house are we in next week?
Mine.
We're in Superman Kev 2001.
Is going to the garage.
We're going to the garage.
We're in the garage right now. Yeah. Kev, are you going to keep us in suspense?
I'll keep you in suspense. You'll find out soon.
We'll find out soon. About 10 minutes before showtime.
Yeah.
You'll share with us. All right. And for me, thanks everybody for taking the time to join us here on a Monday night. We really appreciate your support and really the being interactive with us as we talk with our guests. Really appreciate it. Take the time to check out JD's Facebook page, check out his website. All of that information will be in the description below once this video gets mounted to YouTube. All right. But I guess for the Canadian guys, I'm Dave. That's Wayne. And
I'm Kev.
That's JD, and
That's JD.
that's Kev.
Space Brothers.
There we go. We got the technical pointer going there. All right, everyone. So take care, and we'll see you again next week. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye,
see you, everybody.
everyone. All right.